How can you write an entry-level engineering CV that lands you the next interview? The common thing that troubles someone who is starting out in engineering is, what do I put on my CV? I've just graduated. What do I include in my CV to be able to stand out to engineering recruiters? So I have my notebook ready, and I'm ready to take you through some of the things that you can be able to present on your CV to ensure that you're standing out. Yeah. Looking at this, I only have like one kind of main thing for you, but I'm going to break it down in a way that it's going to be easy for you to follow, right? So the first thing that you need to do, the first and the only thing you're talking about, is that you need to write your CV like as if you're experienced. You need to wear those shoes that are not fitting and act like they're fitting. So don't just list your summary there and your education. So your PV is almost like half a page. Okay. So you need to list it as an experienced person's CV. And you might be thinking you don't know how things to put on that CV, but trust me, you have so much. You have so much to put on that CV, yeah? So professional summary, of course, you need a professional summary to summarize, to briefly, bring out something about you and about your relevance of the relevance of your skills to the job. Yeah. And here you can include like skills. I mean, nowadays you can learn skills anywhere. YouTube, you can include like the skills that you have. You can include, that the job that you're looking for may be requiring. And then you need to have an experience section where you're listing your experience. So if you're engineers say from this day to this day I worked here, this is what I did. So what you do, if you did your attachments, this is if you did your attachments. If you did your attachments and your internships before you graduated, then you list here from this month, this year to this month, this year, I worked for this company, this position, and these were my roles and responsibilities. Yeah. Then you need a specific also section where you're listing your projects. Because where you're listing your experience with different organizations, you can't list your projects there. Your CV will be all bulky. You need a different section you're listing the projects that you've done. It's very important because in engineering, when they're looking for someone to work on pavements, they want to ensure that you've worked on projects as a pavement engineer, or you have experience on pavement analysis like that. So if you list your projects, the kind of projects that you have, and somebody is looking for an engineer to work on a similar project, then most likely you're going to be picked out. Yeah. So you want to list your projects on a different section. So here you can include if you haven't graduated, you can include your final year project, your school projects, the small group projects that you're given. You structure them like they are real engineering projects, because they are. If you are in early career, of course, you're already being involved in real projects, live real projects. So you list your projects there, your role, your contribution, list the project amount, location, client, whatever, list them there under project. So project section, don't forget about that. And if you want assistance to bring out these things that you've done and compile them and bring them together, or you just need what you've done to be reviewed, I'm helping engineers with this, and I've left a link for you in the description. Make sure you check it out. Now, the other thing that your entry-level CV you would want to bring out your education. So you would want to bring out if you haven't graduated, just put Jomo Kenyatta University, this year to this year, ongoing. So you end with the expected graduation date, and then you put into bracket ongoing. Yeah. Then ensure you list trainings if you've done trainings on AI, if you've done trainings on softwares, if you've done trainings on coding, whatever, list them under trainings and courses. Then you want also to list your membership to professional bodies, either your campus, clubs, or engineering professional societies. You need to list that as well. Then you also need to bring up, before I move on, listing membership to professional bodies. This one, it also brings out a unique thing about you. And if you're in leadership position, ensure you mention that you're in a leadership position, because leadership is a skill that even engineering recruiters look for. It is a much needed skill. So if you're in a leadership position, ensure you list out. And even with the school projects that I was mentioning earlier, if you're the one coordinating, ensure you write you coordinated. Don't just put the design or all these things. All these skills are needed in the real world engineering. Yeah. So also you want to list your achievements. If you want somewhere where you need someone to spot something about you that's unique, you won a scholarship, you were able to design something unique, you can list your achievements somewhere. Winning a hackathon, yeah. So something else that you need to list is the skills that you have. Especially on your ATS CV, you need not just skills but keywords. You need to put some keywords where the ATS tracker system is going to be able to scan out those words relevant to the job that you're applying for. This means there is no one CV you're going to be using for all jobs. You always have to tailor it for every job you're applying for. But if you're early in your career, you find that your CV might work for many jobs, because mostly for an early graduate, they're not looking for much, but it's always good to stand out. Yeah. Something else you need to present is your languages. Also with engineering, sometimes they would need you to have knowledge of certain language. So if you have a language that is being looked for, then that would help you to stand out as well. And also, of course, you would add the references and the contact. So I think if you are able to work on this for your entry-level CV, you're already ahead of the rest. Cheers.